Ba-da-bum-bum.
Storm.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum. Souls. Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Dragon.
Ba-da-bum-bum. Bum. Ba-da-bum-bum.
Roll. Dadventurous.
Welcome to Dadventurous. I beat you.
Aw. Welcome to Dadventurous.
What do I win?
You win the ability to do the intro.
Rude.
Hey, you beat
Welcome
me.
back, everybody, for another week. We're here with me, the player. If you didn't
And
know, I'm
me, the dungeon master.
I'm Hobridden. Yep, I'm Hob.
You forgot your
I had to
name?
look. Ellen Hobrindel Glissandia. Pronounced
Hob is,
like that.
Hob is so bad with names that you forgot your own name.
Yeah, exactly. We're back for another episode, though. I got nothing.
All right.
I got nothing other
We're
than
back for another episode.
Yeah, other than thanks. We've gotten a couple questions. If there's any kids out there screaming to know about D&D, or if you got cool things you want to do, send us your
questions.
Questions. Also, an idea that I
Inquiries.
had was maybe for like the next campaign or something. If people want to send us in like item ideas or
Ooh.
NPCs they want to
More
see,
listener interactive.
we could do some crazy stuff like that. So if you have like fun ideas that you want to throw at us, we might include it. I don't know. I'm just coming up with ideas. Anyway, I will now hand it over to the Dungeon Master.
That's me. All right. Are you ready for the recap?
Super ready.
Last week on Dadventurous, Hob, Alfred, and Yarg, I always have to say the full group name, the Feathered Fangs. You guys, Hob had just come back from having an epic sunset duel with a marrow
I did indeed.
and leaving him alive, so we'll see how that plays out.
Every villain needs an origin story. Turns out I might be the villain of his story.
What's
But-
your origin story?
Probably forgetting someone's name.
And turning out bad.
Yeah.
All right. And you took a long rest, and you woke up in the morning to... Oh, no. Sorry. You went to dinner first.
I did.
And you talked a little bit to Mila the Kobold, and she told you about how she used to have two brothers whose names were... You remember without looking at your notes?
Mac and Min.
Yep. Mac and Min. And she told you a little bit about her backstory.
She did.
About how she got attacked by the hungry, icky, blood-sucking bat things.
The Batsquitos.
The Batsquitos. I'm sure you can't remember their actual name.
I know exactly what they are.
Oh, nice.
Continue. Are they called like Striga?
Close.
What is it?
Sturges.
Sturges. Dang it. I'm so bad. Why am I the dungeon master most of the time?
Because you're, more experienced than me.
But not more knowledgeable. All right.
And you kind of took a long rest. You had dinner, you took a long rest, and you woke up to find Runara staring at the statue of a dragon in the plaza. And she told you that he was family at
Yep.
one point. And you went up to the top of the hill. You had a small send-off party. And you and Yarg and Alfred set off towards the observatory
We did.
near the southeastern edge of the island. You passed through some trees and came upon a hot spring that you have dubbed the Mushroom Jacuzzi.
Mm-hmm.
Because there were mushrooms around, you stuck your hand in almost immediately and failed on your perception check. And two fume drakes jumped out of the water.
Sort of like my whole character
Failed on the perception check.
failed on the perception check. Stuck his hand in where he shouldn't. Sums up Hob, basically,
Pretty
in
much.
general.
And you had to engage in combat with these weird gaseous dragons.
Mhm.
Afterwards, though, you took a dip in the mushroom jacuzzi
Got
and
almost
healed.
all my health back, yeah.
Yeah. You healed and also picked some mushrooms where you figured out that the mushrooms were... The spores allowed you to breathe underwater.
They did.
And you decided to take a couple with you. You now have 6, and you used one to activate so you could breathe underwater. And when you found the observatory, instead of going up to the top of the hill, since there appeared to be no bridge, you decided to swim
Mhm.
to the observatory as it was out on a pillar of rock in the ocean, though pretty close.
Cool.
And as you jumped in, you noticed a blue dragon flying
I
over
did.
your head and disappearing.
It yowled. It roared.
Yowled?
It flew.
Yowled?
It gave me the heebie-jeebies.
And that is where we are now.
So I'd like to say I look up and I see, and you said it disappeared. I look up and...
It landed on the farthest out pillar and seemed to have disappeared.
All right, I look around at my teammates. I can breathe underwater. Can I talk underwater?
I'm going to say you can breathe, but the effects of water still apply. It'd be like playing telephone.
Okay. I scream as loud as I can, as you do when you go underwater in the pool, and I say, "Be careful of dragon. Let's swim this way." And I start swimming and see if they follow or understood what I said.
I think they follow. Wait, is Alfred swimming?
Yeah, remember I tested it.
Didn't we establish that he just sinks?
I'm holding him.
Okay.
If I look back and Alfred is just walking on the ocean floor,
Slowly getting deeper.
he's trying to use his wings to stay upright, but breathing bubbles, I will swim down and grab him.
Okay.
And put him under my arm.
All right. Let's see if Yarg understood what you said. Nope.
Okay.
He follows you.
All right, good. I would like to swim
Mhm.
towards the first pillar.
All right. The first pillar, the one closest to the island.
Yeah, and is it like, what does it look like underwater here?
Underwater, it's pretty murky. It's, it is seawater, so it's not the clearest. It's not tropical at all. You can see,
Nice.
but not well. There's a bunch of you can tell there's seaweed on the bottom. It's pretty salty, kind of sandy, rocky area. It's cold.
Cold, rocky,
Yeah.
weird fish and crabs.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot of fun colors.
Nope.
Understood.
It's not tropical.
I shiver as I start to swim towards that first pillar.
There's definitely some basalt rock under here too, like
Oh, cool.
some of the columns peeking out in between the sand.
Okay.
As you swim over to the column, yeah, you reach it. It's just this kind of large, you can tell it maybe once connected to the island, but a long time ago.
Okay.
It's made out of the same basalt rock that the island is, these columns.
Do I sense like how long my breath thing will last?
You're not quite sure, but you do know that usually when these types of things happen, it's a temporary effect.
Right. So I would like to, while I still can breathe, how deep around does the pillar go? Because I'm assuming I'm kind of up higher.
Are you swimming at like sea level?
I mean,
Like
below
underwater,
it.
but-
Yeah.
It's not super deep here. It's pretty deep. It probably drops off like at least 60 feet.
Oh boy. I would like to fully circumnavigate the pillar if possible.
Still underwater.
Underwater, just kind of looking for any entrances, looking out maybe a little to the deeper ocean as I get to the backside. Is there anything of interest that I am seeing that might help me get up or anything like that?
You can't see a lot out farther into the open ocean. There's weirdly no entrances here,
Okay.
but you get the feeling that the basalt, because it's like these columns, it would probably be pretty easy to climb up.
Oh boy. Well then, after doing a circumnavigation of this pillar, I look for a spot that would be opposite of where the dragon landed, so that we
would
could
be
climb
closest to the island.
closest to the island. I circle back around, and I point at everybody to go to the surface,
Okay.
and I start swimming up.
Yarg also swims up next
Okay.
to
Wait, I could breathe.
you. Yeah. Have you just been holding your breath the whole time?
Maybe a little bit. I say, Yarg, I think, unfortunately, we're going to have to climb.
I mean, yeah. I don't see any stairs.
I don't either. Did you see that dragon, though?
Yeah, he was big.
Do you think that's shark tender?
Shark tender, park trender. Well, maybe. She said he was blue.
That's true. All right, well, this is going to be difficult. I say we start climbing, but we go slowly, carefully, and I would like to use, anywhere I can, my rope to, like, tie off sections.
There's definitely like these columns that are very uneven and jutting up. There's probably a couple that you could tie your rope around. Yeah.
Wonderful. I get up. I start climbing.
Okay. I'm going to say that with the help of a rope and the fact that these are very uneven, it's not a sheer cliff face. You can easily climb up this, I think.
Okay.
If you're tying it off to something, make a sleight of hand. If you're just trying to hold it,
17.
yeah, you can easily tie it off to a jutting
Okay, tie it off
column.
to a rock at the 50-foot mark,
The 50
and then help Yarg to climb up.
at the 50-foot mark.
Well, because my rope is 50 feet long.
Oh yeah, I'd say that you're probably. How far up do you tie this? Like all the way up the
how
pillar?
tall is it?
It's not that tall. Weirdly enough, you're thinking it's probably around this first. It's out of the water. Actually, it's only like 30 feet tall.
Oh, okay. Well, then I would probably just tie it near the top.
Okay.
And if I need to be stealthy, I'll just be moving real slow as I start to clamber up.
All right. Yeah. With the help of that, I'd say you can get up. You finally reach the top, and you kind of look out over this plaza almost,
Okay.
but it's very ruined and
I see.
crumbling. Broken stones line this plaza, fragments of elegant statues, once magnificent pillars, shining marble walls. You get the feeling that this used to be fancy and
Okay.
like a big place. At the center, a tall sculpture of rested planets and gilded stars spins idly in a jerky mimicry of the movement of the planets. This would be an
So
orrery.
it's spinning. Do I get the sense that that's wind-based, or is that
It seems to be mechanical.
mechanical? Oh, okay. Interesting. I find a place to tie off my rope,
Mhm.
and I signal down to my friends. I'm going to say that I left Alfred with Yarg so that I could climb freely.
Okay. Alfred's
Yarg is-
definitely wet.
Yeah, Yarg is going to have to carry Alfred somehow.
Ooh. I like to think Yarg just stuffs Alfred in his pouch
There you go.
and climbs up.
Cinches it so just his head is out.
Yeah. And yeah, reaches the top easily
Okay.
with that rope. As you kind of get up, it's pretty open. It's probably, you started off at like 8 a.m. It's
Mhm.
probably like 10. It's pretty a nice time in the
Still
morning. Yeah.
early enough in the day. Okay.
But as you kind of get up, a gargled screech suddenly rises from across the plaza. And about 4 familiar looking bat-like creatures
Oh no.
are swarming around 2 winged kobolds. And the kobolds have blue paint weirdly smeared across their snouts. The kobolds are fighting fiercely, but they seem close to being overwhelmed.
I look at Yarg and I say, "It's mac and cheese. Let's go." And I run
All right.
full tilt speed.
As you shout that, 3 of the sturges kind of look up and start buzzing towards you.
Aha! Battle! And I say, "Feathered fangs! Flying V formation!" Even though Alfred is in a sack.
Alfred is in a sack.
It's just Yarg off to one side.
I like to think he's too wet to fly because you had him swim.
Very fair.
So he's kind of just bouncing along
Okay.
in Yarg's sack.
And I stop partway through,
Mhm.
and however you want to do initiative, but I'm going to stop and use my blowgun first, so
Alright.
that as soon as it comes in range.
Roll initiative.
Oof! Never mind.
Mm,
Gets stuck in my belt.
sorry.
I got a 7.
I got an 18.
I go to grab the beak dart gun, but it's stuck because of this water.
Oh no.
And when I pull it out, it's full of water, and I can't use it.
All right.
Not yet, anyway.
Unfortunately, these 3 sturges go first
Okay.
that are rushing towards you. One kind of dashes towards you specifically.
As I'm trying to fumble with the beak. Oh no!
and is going to attempt to swoop down at you. It makes a weird little clicking, buzzing noise.
And these are the ones with the awful little
This
sticky
Again,
proboscis things.
weird. It's a weird cross between like a bat and a mosquito.
Gross.
You're not quite sure what
Wonderfully
they are, but
disgusting.
and it tries to swoop down at you. And you are familiar with this. Oh no, I got a 20. What is that? A 22?
Definitely hits. Absolutely.
And it again latches onto you.
No,
These weird,
not again.
buggy creatures. Does 5 damage.
Okay.
And is
Latched
on you.
Okay.
But that is its turn. The other one is going to go for Yarg. Missed. And the other one is also going to go for Yarg. Also missed.
Good
so
work,
it's just
Yarg.
you. He's like, I didn't do anything.
I know, but you did it well.
All right. Now it is the kobold's turn. One kind of goes, help! Mech! There's help! And the other one kind of just nods. And I think they try and tag team this Sturge. One misses with his little dagger. But another one, oh, nope. They both kind of have their daggers out and try and take a stab at the Sturge, but
the one that's still with them?
Yeah, the one
Okay.
that's still with them, and they both miss.
All right.
You notice that they seem to be kind of damaged.
Okay.
However, now it is your turn.
It is my turn?
Yeah.
Yarg was after me?
Yep.
Well,
You rolled a
then.
5.
Well, then. I look this thing in the eye and I say, you're the worst. I don't like you. That's not very good, but it's what I got. And I'm going to stop fiddling with the beak, pull my spear up, and just jam it upwards towards this thing. Maybe. The +6 is a 14.
That exactly hits.
Ooh, that's close. Okay. So I'm going to do my damage to this thing.
All right.
That's 10 damage.
How do you want to do this?
Wonderful. Would you allow me? I haven't used this yet. Never mind. Same way as before, I stab upwards with it and like shish kebab the giant bug.
Yeah.
And it pulls its little thing out of my arm and I just shiver and fling it off very gross, very stylistically, just like get off.
Do you think Hob has a fear of
I don't think
mosquitoes?
he likes these bug things, yeah.
Yeah.
And then I would like to use my movement, however much it may be, to rush towards those guys, Mac and Min. Do any of them look particularly hurt?
They look to be about equally hurt. They're not super hurt, but you can tell
I just want to
they're...
get, however close I can get, I want to get closer to theirs.
All right.
Since the other two were on Yarg.
I'd say you can probably make it all the way across the plaza. It's not super
then
big.
I get within melee of this other bug.
All right. Yeah.
That'd be my turn.
That'd be
Alfred
your
is
turn.
wet.
Yeah,
so
Alfred
no
is
Alfred.
currently in the sack,
All right.
unfortunately. Yarg is going to take a swing at the one next to him. Ooh. It hits, and he does full damage. So he, again, kind of like you, stabs into this thing and flings it aside.
Nice.
So now there is actually only 2 Sturges left.
Wonderful.
However, it is that one's turn. The one on the kobolds. So it's going to again take a swipe at one of the kobolds. On one of them, you can't quite tell which one.
But one of the kobolds?
One of the kobolds. It does latch on.
Oh, no!
Does.
I say, cheese, are you okay?
That's not my name! But also does 5 damage.
Uh-oh.
This kobold suddenly just like winces and kind of like almost like drops to the ground a little bit. Still up.
Oh boy. Oh boy. All right. Turn is now.
It is, I believe, now the kobold's turn. You kind of rolled pretty low.
I sure did.
unfortunately. So the other one is going to try and stab at this Sturge on his friends. Ooh, you killed one Sturge. Now this kobold stabs into the Sturge on his friend's arm, and it dies.
Nice.
And he also flings it aside. You get the feeling that nobody likes these things.
No, they're disturbing.
And he kind of holds out a claw. Min, you all right? He goes, oh, I'm fine. Here are you? There is one
Okay.
left.
I say, heroes. And then I stand and block the Sturge from getting to these two.
All right. Yarg is currently one-on-oneing
Yep.
this creature. However, it is your turn.
It is my turn.
Yes.
I would like to do. I'm going to use a bonus action.
Ooh.
And as I said, heroes, turn to face them. Min is so inspired by this saving this rescue team. He looks over, he sees another kobold one-on-oneing a sturge and winning, and Min is so inspired that I'm going to use my Battle Master trait Rally,
Ooh.
and I am going to expend one of my dice to give that person temporary hit points equal to the superiority dice, +1.
Right.
So I get to use a d8. Min gets 8 temporary hit points to
Oh.
bump back up and feel good.
Right.
And then to cap it all off with this, I'm going to finally pull out the beak for my action. I'm going to breathe into it really hard and expel all the water like a snorkel. And then I throw a dart in there, and I'm going to attempt to hit this guy with the beak.
All right.
Yeah. No, you said a 13 does not hit.
No.
Dang it. It flies right over him.
Poof. It almost hits. But
Okay.
now it is Yarg's turn. He's going to, again, try and take a stab at this guy with a natural 1.
Yarg, no.
So he misses on a swing, kind of stumbles a little bit. It is the Sturge's turn. Me playing D&D with myself for a little bit. Oh no, that does hit Yarg. How have I rolled 5 damage every single time? All right, Yarg takes 5 damage
All right.
as this Sturge finally latches onto him. It's the Kobold's turn. I'm gonna say you were going to help them, you'd think? Because you did go over. Were you going to help them?
What do you mean?
The Kobolds.
Well, I mean, I helped them by giving him temporary hit points. I don't
True.
have anything else I can do.
True. And now that you know which ones are which, you think Mech probably stays back.
Okay.
But he goes, wait, Min, wait. But Min rushes forward and flies forward.
He's been rallied.
Yes. And is going to unsheath his dagger. He can reach that full distance. He
Nice.
flies and
Come
tries
on,
to take
Min.
an aerial stab
You
at.
got it.
He rolled a 2. He kind of just loses his balance in the air a little bit and kind of plows into the ground and misses.
All right.
It is your turn.
All right, come on, Beak. One more time. I look at Alfred for good luck, and I put one of the Alfred feathers in. That is a 16,
That hits.
and it does 5 damage to this thing.
Ooh, all right. How do you want to do this?
Ha-ha!
This is the final Sturge.
I watch as Yarg missed and Min missed, and the Sturge has just been bobbing and weaving, and I see that his little proboscis thingy looks like he's going to target Alfred in the sack. And I stick an Alfred feathered dart in there, and I say, "Not today, Batskeeto," and I let loose, and it blows it sideways off the cliff.
All right. Yeah, I like to think that it kind of barely makes it over the edge, and you just hear a sploosh.
Okay.
Now you have
And-
defeated the Sturges.
I take a breath and I rush over to join, or I'd help Mech or Mac or whatever. And I'd say, "Here, let me help you up."
The one that fell onto the ground?
Yeah, that was next to me, because Min flew
That
away,
was next to
right?
you.
Yeah.
All right. He kind of takes your hand and
I say, "We're friends
stands
of
up.
Mila."
Mila's alive?
Yeah, your sister. She's like maybe a day's walk from here. You just got to get off the tube. Or, not tube. Pillar, that's the word.
Mila's alive. Min! Guess what? And Min kind of flies back over. What's going on? Mila's alive.
She is. She told me to come help look for you guys.
You know her? Is she all right?
She's great. She, mixy brews herself a little bit, and she's hanging out with some cool people over there, and I point towards Dragon's Rest.
Min pipes up. We thought she was a goner.
Nope, she's absolutely fine. We ate mushrooms together last night.
Maybe we should go and visit. But after we help Sparkrender with the things.
Help Sparkrender.
Well, yeah. Didn't you know?
I zoom in on my eyeballs towards them, and I say, "Wait." And I'm assuming Yarg comes over at that
Mhm.
point.
Yarg's kind of listening in.
And I say, "What do you mean by help Sparkrender?"
Well, he came here a while ago. We didn't really agree with that lady's, what was her name? Mac pipes up. Renara. We didn't really agree with her. But, I don't know. Sparkrender was all high and mighty, and we thought finally get a chance to serve a dragon.
Hmm.
And, Min says, So we helped him. We've been with him for about a year.
A year? You've been here a year?
Yeah.
And you didn't know Milo was alive that whole time?
No, we thought she was gone.
What was wrong with Runara?
Too nice.
Too nice! And I say, look, brothers. And I get down onto their level. She might be too nice, but I think you'll find her leadership a little bit more draconian than you were thinking before. And I wink at both of them.
Huh?
And your sister is good friends with Runara.
Oh.
And Sparkrender's kind of mean. Like to the people in Dragon's Rest, where your sister is.
What do you mean? He hasn't been to Dragon's Rest. Not as far as we know, anyway.
Well, there is a dragon, I think a bronze one, named Adrian. And Adrian flew over
Oh,
here.
yeah. Then not a long time ago.
Yeah,
Maybe about like 6 days ago.
Oh,
There was another dragon that came by, and he was about Sparkrender size, but he looked like weird greenish yellow kind of metal. And they were arguing.
yeah. What did they argue about? Tell me everything.
Well, we didn't quite catch a lot of it, but and Min says, well, they are arguing kind of about that Runara lady. It seemed like that Adrian guy didn't like Runara either, but he didn't like Sparkrender weirdly. And so they were arguing, and then we're not quite sure what happened after that. I mean, it's always, when dragons argue, it's always a good idea to go and disappear for a little while. But we heard the other dragon roaring and crashing around inside the tower, and he points to the farthest pillar,
Okay.
which is where, the blue dragon went. We've been crashing around in there since then.
Since then, they might still be at it?
Well, not arguing, but Mech says, we heard the other one is kind of, I think we still hear.
Interesting.
Don't know what happened though. I mean, asking Sparkrender about it's kind of a little too brave on our part.
Well, I wonder what they're grumpy about. Well, I tell you this. What did Sparkrender need help with? You said he needed help with something?
They suddenly beam. They seem very proud about this. And says, well, Sparkrender asked us to help. We don't know exactly what it means, but, and they motion you over to the, okay, well, Sparkrender asked us to help arrange these things, and you notice for the first time that there's really, really bad sculptures, like they barely look like what they're supposed to look like, of dragons.
Okay.
They're vaguely draconic shapes, and they're each splashed with some paint. And you notice that there are 5, and probably about 3 of them seem to be arranged around the sculpture. The other 2 are kind of off to the side.
Okay.
It seems that these kobolds were in the process of arranging them around the orrery. And says, we made these. We made these with the other kobolds. And the Sparkrender said that they have something to do with his plans. And we know that we helped with that. We helped, and he told us to arrange these around the gold thing.
And what do they look like again?
They're very bad, it's kind of vague draconic shapes. They're each splashed with paint. And each one is a different color. There's 5.
Okay.
The colors are bronze, gold, blue, red, and brass.
3 metallic and 2 chromatic.
Yep. And
Okay.
you notice there's some badly but etched into the bottoms. There's names.
Oh. Can I go look around at all the names?
Yeah.
Okay.
They are
I start at the blue one.
started the blue one. Okay. You see Denimir carved into the bottom.
Why do I know that name?
You know that Runara
Oh,
told
that
you
was the original
that
blue dragon.
that was the OG blue dragon that Runara fought.
Oh, right. I rush over to the bronze one.
Estalagan.
Okay, the one that fell in the square. Then I go for the metallic ones next.
All right. The gold one says Klosavar. You know that the wreck of the Compass Rose area was the spot of a gold dragon's death. The brass one is Turadir. You know that the hot springs were
right. We're the site of a dragon's death.
were the site of a brass dragon's death.
And
then there's the red one.
I do that last, and I walk over cautiously, knowing a little bit that there's been some red dragon nonsense going on, and I read it.
It says truth.
And I say, I knew it!
What?
Well, I don't really know, but I knew it would say Sharuth.
Oh, do you know Sparkrender?
Is that what the two kobolds asked me? I look at Yarg, and I say, no, we're here to meet Sparkrender.
Oh, we can introduce him to you if you want.
Are there lots of kobolds?
Mm-hmm.
And
There's
would
some other
they,
here.
if you were to say, just go in there not knowing anybody and try to get to Sparkrender, would they be grumpy with me?
Well, they don't really like outsiders that much.
Okay.
Min says, well, we also don't know. I mean, Sparkrender just flew in. It's kind of the middle of the day. He might be napping. And Mech says, oh yeah, we do not want to interrupt him with that. I mean, you can wait.
I could wait. Why did you show me where Sparkrender lives and how to get between the towers and all that stuff? I would love to go meet your fellow kobolds. I say to Yarg questioningly.
Yarg kind of just leans over to you and says, I don't know. I mean,
I don't know either, but if it's a free pass through Kobold Village,
true. Right.
I can maybe get to Sparkrender. Also, what's the deal with Runara, and why are people grumpy with her?
I don't know.
She's too nice?
I mean, I think she's perfectly nice, but I mean,
Strange.
I'm also the weird one of my kobold family. They're a lot more
Aggressive?
yeah.
All right, good point. All right, mac and cheese, lead the way.
It's Mech and Min.
Right, of course. I'll remember that for next time.
All right. You notice that there are, on the southwest side of this plaza, there are 2 dragon statues.
Oh, wait.
Like actual dragon statues, not the crude ones around the base.
Before we go, I say to them, did you guys need to finish arranging these things, or no? You did already.
Oh, yeah. Give us a sec. And
okay.
they, probably over the course of like 15 minutes.
Okay, that's good. I'll
they
talk to Yarg for a
arrange
second.
them.
While they're arranging them, I say, Yarg, so your kobold friends are usually trying to like follow other dragons or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's always a big honor to work with the dragon. I mean, they're basically, at least for us kobolds, they're basically these all-powerful beings that it's always an honor to follow one.
So, here's my question. If we go
What?
see Sparkrender, and Sparkrender's like, no, evil, adventurers, and chomp, 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 rah, and then we get to a battle, and we get, we have to, he either eats us, or we have to defeat him, and then we're like, oh, we'd saved the day, and then all the kobolds are like, you've killed our boss, we're grumpy, would that be bad?
I mean, I don't quite know how loyal they are to him yet. It depends. Sometimes it can be a huge setback. Sometimes it can be, at least from what I know, sometimes it can be, oh, all right.
What if we convinced them that following Runara, they would also get to follow a dragon?
I mean, maybe.
Do you think
Take
they'd follow
a lot.
metallic dragon?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's kind of any dragon.
Any dragon? How so
As long
pliable?
as long as they, agree with their
Yeah.
ways.
Well, I don't want to harm any of these kobolds if they're just followers, so... Oh, anyway, Mac and Min are coming back.
Mech and Min. Mech kind of pulls on your hand a little bit and says, come on.
All right, let's go.
As you walk through this kind of plaza again, there's the southwest side, there's 2 dragon statues, and on the west side, there are dragon statues.
Okay, can I inspect them as I go along?
Yeah. You notice that the western pair, they're pairs, weirdly.
Mm-hmm.
That's not how you would expect a statue normally to face. They face out toward the island.
Okay.
The western pair. And the southwestern pair face toward a crumbled and isolated tower that does not have any bridges connecting to it.
Does that look like the observatory?
No,
Oh, okay.
it's probably about the second farthest one away.
Okay. Can I like go in between the statues and touch the heads?
Yeah, you notice these statues weirdly, they're marble, veined with gold. They're very pretty. And they're carved in the shape of dragons with their mouths open in silent roars. You notice at the base of each statue is a small hexagonal, indentation, about 1 inch wide and 2 inches deep.
Does it look like my key thing?
It does.
I say, hold on one sec, Mech and Min. I want to try something out.
Oh, all right.
Yarg, come here, please. And I kind of gesture for them to stay over there.
Yeah, they kind of just like talk among themselves
Okay.
excitedly.
I say, Yarg, look, it matches the key. Should we test this now, or do you think we should wait?
I don't know. Should we do it in front of them?
Well, that's what I'm wondering about. But if we follow them, are we going to lose our chance?
Maybe. All right.
We tell them, should they just point us in the direction, and then we'll say we'll follow?
I think it might not be.
Mech and Min, I'm quite tired. I think I'm going to need a rest. Is there a chance that you could just point us in the direction of your kobold camp, and you could keep an eye out for us if we decide to visit soon?
Oh, yeah. It's over there. And they point to a tower that does have a bridge connecting to it.
Okay.
It's very ramshackle, made out of driftwood and old rope. That kind of points. It would be north, kind of northwest a little bit.
Okay. So kind of opposite of where I am.
Yeah, kind of the opposite of where you are.
Okay.
And it
And I say, well, keep an eye out for the feathered fangs. We're going to rest for a minute, and then we'll see you later.
Oh, all right. They kind of go. They're still in the plaza, but they kind of go back to like cleaning up the orrery a little bit.
Perfect.
They seem to be preparing something.
I say, all right, Yarg, let's try this out. And I pull the key out, and I set it into the one facing the crumbled tower.
All right. You finally use it. You insert the key into the base of. There are two here. Into the base of one of the statues. And they both have the indentation. Something glows in the dragon's mouths, and it kind of like fritzes a little bit, and then stabilizes. And out from the dragon's mouths, light starts to shine.
Ooh.
And from the base of the statues, a light connects over to the tower.
Oh, cool.
And it's pretty bright. It's a light that looks like bridge-shaped.
I take some dirt and I throw it on to the bridge.
You take some dirt?
Yep.
All right. It's kind of weird. It stays
Okay.
in the air on top of the light.
All right. And I say, quick, let's make our way across just in case it's timed. And we rush across the bridge.
Right. It's weird. It feels
I
like
bet
it
it's
feels solid.
weird.
It feels almost like stone, but it is light.
Okay.
And you rush across.
I rush across to this tower.
All right.
I say, quickly, let us see if we can discover anything extra in this tower.
All right. You make it to the other side. The bridge stays.
Okay. Is there a doorway?
It's less of a door. It is a doorway. I'd say there's probably even the remains of an old rotten door hanging half off
Those
its
are
hinges.
Very old.
Yes.
Okay.
The rhythm of the waves below echoes throughout this cramped tower. You enter.
Oh, yeah. I'm going to walk right in.
All right. Part of the floor has crumbled away,
Whoa,
dropping
careful.
off into the chamber below.
Okay.
Amid the rubble, collapsed bookcases jut out at odd angles, and moldering books are strewn across the floor.
All right. Well, I kind of would like to investigate around and see if there's any information I can glean from the books. If there's any hidden areas, what can I do? You want me to roll?
Make an investigation check.
Gladly. Woohoo! Pretty good for a -1. That is a natural 19, so an 18.
All right. You kind of sift through these old books. Most of them, like maybe one even falls apart in your hand. These are old.
I see. Ancient bookies.
You do, however, weirdly find one. It's small. A small black journal with an ornate lock.
Okay.
Remains perfectly intact, weirdly.
And it has a lock on it? Does it have any markings or anything of that nature?
Make a perception check.
Okay. That's a 14.
It kind of just looks like a book. You're not quite sure.
Okay. Can I try to fiddle with the lock? I don't have lock-picking tools.
All right. Yeah. What do you want to,
Does it have a keyhole?
It does have a keyhole.
I think I have
But
a
you
key.
thoroughly investigated the room. You didn't find any.
And there's nothing above me?
Nope.
And is there anything below me?
You kind of look in through the hole, and it's kind of, you're not quite sure where it is. It looks kind of like it used to lead somewhere, but there is just rubble down there.
Okay.
It doesn't seem like there's anything down there.
I take the dragon head key and I just kind of wiggle it around near the lock. Does it seem like it would fit or anything like that?
Dragon head key?
The...
You just put that in the statue.
Oh, it stayed with the statue. Oh, so it's it needs to stay there. Okay. Can I try to break the lock?
Yeah, you can. Do you want to try and just tear it open? Cause
No, I would probably use my spear. I would
Okay.
stick the spear in between. Is it like a padlock?
Yeah.
I just stick my spear in between the two prongs and try to twist and pry. Use
Make a
leverage.
strength
Science.
check.
Oh, just strength or athletics?
Just strength.
Strength is pretty good roll, but I just screwed it up. Hang on. Hang on, everybody. That is a 19.
Easily. It was kind of rusty. It pops.
Pops. And then I very carefully open the book.
You opened the lock?
Yep. Nice. Oh, no.
Oh, okay. That's actually... I rolled the lowest amount of damage possible. As
Do I have
you
to dex
break
save
the
or
lock...
what is this?
No.
Oh.
You break the lock, and as soon as you do, a weird, noxious green gas
No.
spews out. You take 1 damage. It could have been a lot worse.
I'm coughing and just flinging it away. Oh, the book was poison. It's a poison book.
You failed on your perception check.
I did.
However, you can now open the book.
Okay, I crack it open and read. And I kind of stand by the window just in case more poison gas comes out.
Right? You kind of flip through it. A couple of the notes are smudged, but you're not quite sure. You're not a very magic-y person.
No.
The journal contains star maps, notes on experiments with magic. However, one passage is underlined near the start of the journal.
Okay.
It reads in an old dialect of common, kind of like what us reading Shakespearean would be today.
Okay.
Says, "To ye four scholars, point your eyes toward the dragon's light, for it guides thy descent into knowledge."
Dragon's Light?
Dragon's light is capitalized, for it guides your descent into knowledge.
Okay. Is there anything draconic in this tower?
No, it seems to be an old, if not library, then kind of not an office necessarily, but like a study.
Point your eyes towards Dragon's Light.
To ye four scholars, point your eyes toward the dragon's light, for it guides thy descent into knowledge.
Descent into knowledge. I don't understand this currently, but I have a feeling it has something to do with those bridges and maybe directions and maybe, I don't know. Is it floorboards beneath me or is it
It's
stonework?
stone.
Okay, so I wouldn't be able to pry my way through.
Mm-mm. There was a hole in the ground, but it looked like, when you peered down, it looked like rubble.
Okay, and I couldn't fit through that hole?
No.
Okay. Well then, I grabbed the journal and I said, we'll keep an eye out for that. Let's go back.
Oh, also, since you did make an investigation check, just to search the tower, you kind of walk back toward the entrance and notice a loose brick in the northwest wall.
Oh, okay. I go fiddle with it and
You pull it out, and you find a hidden compartment containing a small bottle with a potion inside.
a potion.
Mhm.
Is it a potion I recognize or no?
Nope, but Yard comes out and says,
Oh yes, Mixie Brewer. Tell me, what is this?
That looks like kind of takes the bottle and looks around. It's weird, kind of like blue liquid, like
Cool.
the electric blue kind of. And there's a couple motes of yellow inside. He looks at it and says, "Oh, I've only ever read about these. It's a potion of resistance.
Ooh, what kind of resistance?
Based on the color lightning?" I think.
Ooh, that might come in fine handiness for the dealings ahead.
Oh, and he reaches also into the compartment and pulls out a pouch holding 10 gold pieces
Heyo.
inside.
Nicely done, Yarg. All right.
It's a pretty good find.
That is a good find. Well, shall we go back to the main area?
I think so.
All right.
Are we,
We need to keep our eyes out for the dragon's light.
yeah.
Okay.
Wonder what that could be.
I also wonder what that could be. All right. I head back outside, rush across the bridge.
It's still up.
Okay. And I head across and pull the key out. There's another one pointing back towards
You pull out-
shore?
Yep. There's another one, statue pair pointing back towards shore. You pull the key out. The light kind of pulls back from the tower and back into the dragons, and
Okay.
it fritzes out.
Okay, I go again. I look again, and I do the one towards shore just because I have a feeling I want to test it.
You notice another pair on the shore,
Yeah.
but there is a pair here. You put the key in, and it fritzes, and there's a bridge.
All right. That might have been easier than swimming. Sorry, Alfred, as Alfred's still trying to dry
Alfred's
out.
definitely like still in the sack, kind of just like awkwardly looking around.
All right. Well, let's go gather the kobolds and let's head into the village.
All right, I think that's a good idea. Hey, Mech, Minnie, or whatever your name was. And they look up. They were polishing the orrery. And Min says, "It's Min." But yeah, we can show you.
Please
Our
take
friends?
us to your leader. And we
Take us to your leader.
and we follow in
All right.
behind the
You
kobolds.
follow behind. They lead you across this driftwood
Mm-hmm.
bridge. It's still like 30 feet up above sea level. And they lead you across. You enter into a large camp, kind of. It's another ruined tower, but it's pretty big. Gaps in the stone. This one is walled in. Gaps in the stone are patched over with wooden planks and threadbare cloth. And you hear skittering sounds and whispers coming from inside. As you enter, you notice 5 kobolds here. 3 normals and 2 other winged ones.
Okay.
And are currently inhabiting the camp. There's a couple tents in here, maybe a fireplace that's unused right now, but they're polishing rocks and slings, and you get the idea that they're keeping busy.
Okay.
And they all look up at one time. And another winged one steps forward and says, "Who are you?" And they all kind of look up and stand up. And that is where we will end this episode.
I see what's happening here. All right. Do they look aggressive?
They look hostile.
Okay.
Not necessarily fighting, but they look
All right. I'll be prepared.
intruders.
Cool. That was fun. Light bridges, huh?
And then you find it was really funny because I did not expect you to swim.
Well,
And I was
what?
wondering if you'd never use the
I'll never
key.
do- Oh, I did want to, as I came across before I pulled the key, I do want to stare into the mouth of this dragon statue just to double check that by looking into the dragon's light, if I found any knowledge.
You found the knowledge that the inside of the dragon's mouth statue looks exactly like just carved stone.
All right. It was just double checking.
Yep.
All right. Cool. Well, that was wonderful. Thank you, daughter, again for another journey.
Perhaps next time you will find knowledge.
Perhaps I will. And next time is next week, which is when we will see you next
On Dadventurous.